least he didn't do that walking against the wind shit. I hate that. Hi, my name's Lance. This is Nick.
Yeah.
And welcome to another fine episode of Have You Seen? This week, I talked Nick into watching The Crow.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take much to talk me into watching stuff. Because generally you say at the end of the episode, hey, Nick, you're watching this. And I'm like, all right.
I guess I am
I
now.
guess I'm watching this. It's one that I managed to miss all throughout the 90s. What was this, like 94 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
That I think my brother was kind of like into. I remember we had like a Crow poster, and I think like one year he was, for Halloween, he dressed up as the Crow.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Don't know what this thing is. And then I just never really looked into it. I mean, I knew the kind of history, I guess, of the movie itself, just because it ended in the end of the career of a rather prominent figure pretty early on before his career like really took off.
Well, this was supposed to be the movie that
It was going to be like his big
hurtled
launch.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brandon Lee, son of Bruce Lee. So back in the day when I was collecting comic books, The Crow was a book that I used to pick up quite frequently. It was a great story because it was another one of those ultra violent comic books.
It's kind of Spawnish or whatever, that kind of
It was
Spawn violent.
Spawn was pretty violent, but like this one, yeah, I guess it was up there, but it was just a little bit more punch you in the teeth, in my opinion. Because like I remember one of the comic frames, two of the bad guys are talking, and the next thing you know, the dude's head just goes and fucking flies off his body, and I was just like, okay, pretty good. Caliber Comics don't fuck around, but yeah. I read the comics when I was a teenager, and then when they announced the movie, when I was like 19 or something like that, I was like, holy shit, oh my god, we're getting a fucking Crow movie. And then he fucking died, and they're like, yeah, we're shelving it forever. And like, dude, I was fucking bummed.
Yeah.
Super bummed. But then they finally put it out. But James and Carrie pulled me into a game at Dragon Con where it's like Spot the Crow. The first person that finds the person dressed up as a crow wins like a prize. And Carrie would always like, I'd walk around most of my conventions were me like looking for someone dressed as the fucking crow because it was a fun game. It's like our Where's Waldo.
Yep.
But anyways, thank you for joining us for this episode.
Where's Wald Crow? Where's
Wald Crow? Yeah, it's just the crow with that fucking hat.
Yeah.
So the way we normally do this is in the beginning, Nick will try and guess my score. I'll try and guess his. He knows I like this movie a lot, so this is probably a fucking fish in a barrel, and I have no fucking clue what he's going to say, so I'm probably really wrong.
As usual, I'm a mystery.
Yeah, you're the fucking wild card. We're going to rate each other. We're going to give each other's ratings. 0 to 10, 0 being utter horseshit, and 10 being, oh my god, that's amazing. And then after that, we're going to go talk about spoilers of the movie. And then I'm probably going to go off on a tangent that's going to derail this episode. So it'll be like 12 minutes of good content about The Crow and 19 to 45 minutes of me going back in World War like, but anyways, Nick.
So I guess if you've never seen The Crow like me, beware spoilers for after this word.
So Nick,
Yes.
if you had to give The Crow 0 to 10, what would you give it?
Which I do have to give it
Yep.
a score. I go to 5.
I always don't go pessimistic enough.
I mean, 5's average. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Because that's okay. That's fine.
We're not doing this game anymore. I suck at it. We'll just be like, no more guessing. All right.
What about you, Lance?
I would give this movie fuck it, I'll give it a 10.
I went for 9.
I love this movie.
Yeah. Based on the fact that you gave me your copy, and then also you said, oh, I shouldn't have trouble rewatching this movie. I bet I could recite it word for word. I'm like, okay. I mean, he apparently likes this movie a lot. But I usually never hear you talk about it, so I wasn't sure if it's 10 or if it's just 9.
Oh, well, we're talking like a movie that's like 28 years from me at this point. I mean, it's one of those ones where if I walk by and it's on TV, I will sit down and watch it until the end. I loved all the actors in it. I thought that they changed a lot of stuff around that was in the comic books, but I didn't give a shit about that. J.O. Barr had a little part in it. It was fun watching him, be his own little fucking Stanley of his movie, who was the artist in the story.
Who is he in the movie?
When Gideon's shop blows up, and fucking
When like the looters come.
and Zedmore shows up. The looters are in the background when he turns around and looks, and you see one guy grabbing a TV and like running off with it. That was J.O. Barr.
Okay.
But yeah, when this movie was first announced, I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing to ever happen to me. And then they said they weren't going to do it. And then I turned to a life of drugs and alcohol. It's pretty close to that. But then they put it out, and I'll admit, this is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay. I would not have picked The Crow as one of your favorite movies of all time,
Nope.
especially after watching it.
Okay, well, let's get into it. What did you not like about it?
It's fine. It's whatever. I didn't give a shit about any of the characters, really. I liked Ernie Hudson the most.
Well, I thought that Eric was pretty good too. Like if you were on his vengeance list,
Yeah.
then there was no fucks given. You're gonna get taken out.
The murders were interesting. It kind of saw, like, we started the movie with him dead already. I'm like, all right. I mean, I thought we would get like here's how him and his wife or fiance or whatever, how they interact with each other. No, we don't get any of that. It's she's dying, he's dead, and then he kind of comes back and he's like, oh, and we kind of get like their voice, their life through flashbacks. I'm like, that's not really enough for me to give a shit about this guy. Which, I mean, might have been the fault of them not having footage of it. So I mean, I can't necessarily fault the movie for not giving us background when maybe the footage did not exist. But at the same time, it's still, despite the tragedy, it's still a movie, and it didn't make me care about Eric before it started.
Well, they tried to give it. I guess they tried to give you the background through like that prescience that he was doing whenever he would have like these flashbacks, like when he was going through the rings and he wasn't looking at him, he was just going no, 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 and when he grabbed that one, he got like all the flashes.
Like a little flash, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's where they were trying to do it. But like another thing that I found out, the comic book, J.O. Barr lost his wife. Like soon after they got married. She died in a car accident. She was, I think, walking and got hit by a drunk driver.
Okay.
And this is a dude who like had a mother that didn't give a shit about him, ended up going into like the child services system, abused there, going through different families that abused him for money reasons, and then he finally met this one person that was like amazing. And then she gets killed the way she did, and he used the comic book when he was writing it. That was kind of an outlet for him.
For him to go and kill all the people who were guilty of whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so supposedly a lot of Shelley and Eric's relationships were like some of the finer points that he remembered from like being married to this person. And this was supposed to be his like way of like opening this wound and letting it basically bleed. And then he found out that it just did not make him feel better, but then it catapulted him. But I love this movie just because I do like Eric's character. I like that, the supernatural force that pushes him through it. Now it does feel like, Mike Tyson punching a baby, because
They kind of set up early on that he's pretty invincible, just to make you like, you're not really worried about what happens to him. It's more about like what he's doing to people. That's interesting, I guess.
But then you get to the mystic lady who
That's like, okay, now we've got like stakes, I guess. Like, oh, if you kill the crow, you can actually kill him. Like, okay, here we go. Now he's not just going to be like taking bullets. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like, ooh, or whatever. In order to I don't know, make invincible people like interesting to watch, like Superman, you don't really put Superman in danger. You put the people around Superman in danger. So it's by like fucking with Eddie or Ernie Hudson. I don't know any of these characters' names. Was it girl, like a little girl, Alice or something?
Sarah.
The little girl?
Sarah.
It was Sarah.
Yeah.
And then like you put them in danger. I'm like, okay, well, they might die. I mean, they're not gonna die in this movie, but they might die. I guess it could happen. So that's more interesting. And only like when they're like if you kill the crow, he's not immortal anymore. I'm like, okay, that's get a bit more stakes in here to make it a bit more interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I thought some of the stuff that they did, like I love the creative ways that he killed
Yeah, it
people.
was fun.
I liked when Tintin was just like, "What you all painted up for, crackhead?
Mm-hmm.
Halloween ain't till manana." Like that fight, I always loved that. But you know, when he's like, "I'm gonna introduce you to a couple of buddy of mine. We never miss," and he throws the first one, he fucking misses. I was like, "Okay, you suck at this apparently." And then he throws the second one and just bats it aside. And then I like the line, "He put all of his knives into his major organs in alphabetical order."
Yeah, well, that's fun.
Yeah.
The murders were neat. I kind of like the getting back at people, the way they kind of fucked with people or whatever. Like the druggie guy, like put all the what was it? It wasn't heroin. It was
Morphine.
morphine.
Morphine is bad for you. Mother is the word for God on the lips and hearts of all children. Yeah, I fucking your daughter is waiting for you out there in the streets. Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. So you had Brandon Lee as Eric Draven. You had Michael Wincott as Top Dollar. And Michael Wincott's the guy who talks like this.
He looked familiar, and I'm like, what the fuck do I know him from? I know him from Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, and you probably know him from he was in a Robin Hood movie. As like
Only Robin Hood movie I've seen is Men in Tights.
it would not be that one.
Yeah, no, it's not that one.
Okay. You had Ernie Hudson as Officer Albrecht. You had Rochelle Davis as Sarah, little girl. Bai Ling was Mystic Woman, Micah.
Which I'd seen Biling in one other movie, but I guess she was kind of like,
She was in Star Wars.
was she? Mm-hmm. Which one was she in Star Wars?
She was... Because I remember there was a stink over her being in Star Wars.
Really?
I think so. I could be completely wrong. God knows that I was wrong about Toph Beifong. But I'm pretty sure she was in... There it is. Nope. I was wrong again. It doesn't matter. I'll look for it later. Because I'm not going to like weigh down another fucking episode. Of,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I saw her in like the Gene Generation, which like is a movie that my brother bought, and we watched, and we're kind of like, oh, okay. I guess it's a movie you could watch. It was one of those because we try to get movies that are bad enough to like have fun ripping on, and it was just kind of boring, which is unfortunate because that's the worst thing a movie can be is boring.
Agreed. So I found it. So she was in. She was Senator something. Senator Barra.
In which movie? Phantom Menace. 3. Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. But is it her name's kind of like it moves off of the
Some senator one.
yeah, she's like Senator Barra or something.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like digging through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when she was on one of the movies, people were just like, I don't know. And I was like, why?
Yeah, why?
What has she done? Was she said some things, or she's like a sex symbol? Okay, Daisy Ridley's pretty fucking hot. Why didn't you freak out when she was in like episode 7? So, but anyways, let's see. I don't know who Sophia Shinas is, but she was Shelley in the movie, and it's not a great thing for the actor when their picture is them from the movie, and the first thing that shows up on their page is
The trailer from the one movie from
the
'94.
trailer. Yeah, the trailer from the one movie from '94. But I thought she was good. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I do not recognize.
Yeah, I think the
Unless-
guy that played Tintin I thought looked familiar, but looking through like what he's in, I didn't see anything that I would have recognized him in, so I don't know why he looked familiar to me.
So you had David Patrick Kelly as T-Bird.
I don't know who that is.
So he was he's the Devil's Knight, my new favorite, the leader of the group. He's been in a lot of shit. He is one of those guys.
No, he was the top dollar guy.
He was he was T-Bird.
Which one was T-Bird?
He was the dude who went out in the car. He was the leader.
Okay.
You know?
Of the gang, not of the group of 4, whatever it was.
Yeah, he was the leader of the group. And then the devil saw how awful goodness feels, or whatever. But
I didn't recognize it.
yeah, but he's in John Wick.
I've not seen all of John Wick yet. I've seen most of it, but not all of it. And all right, I've seen most of it, but just not all of it.
Interesting. I should ask you to watch the rest of the movies just so I can. I should.
Yeah, and I've never watched any of the sequels to John Wick either.
Yeah, he's in K-Pax.
Yeah, never seen it.
Let's see. He's just in a shit ton of stuff. The guy is fucking everywhere. All right. Anyways, then you had any other major people? Okay, so Tony Todd was Grange.
Is he like the
Well,
top
he's-
dollars, like side, like henchman guy that was like taking pictures or whatever it was?
That's Candyman.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's. I heard you look for a candy bitch, man.
I've never seen Candyman either. I know, right? Any of them.
You had John Polito
Who looks familiar?
as
but-
Gideon, so he's Defino in The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, I've seen Big Lebowski once.
Okay. He's another one of those guys. So he was in Miller's Crossing, which is one that I like,
Yeah,
but I know
never
you
heard of
haven't. I know you haven't seen it.
Never heard of it.
Miller's Crossing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you. You don't like gangster movies, do you?
No, I don't. Oh, he was in. They keep going over. He was in a Rapunzel show.
Oh. Well, he's got a very unique voice. Modern Family, American Dad, Castle, apparently. He's in fucking one of the Batman games.
Yeah, he's a guy that looks familiar, but I couldn't place him.
Yeah, he's a lot of small roles and a lot of different stuff. And sorting through, I don't see anybody else that really kind of stands out. But yeah, this movie is just important to me because it's good action. I love when Fun Boy shoots Eric in the hand. Go ahead and take a shot, Fun Boy. You got me dead bang. And then he fucking shoots him, and he's like, he shoots, he scores, and Eric does the and then he does like the whatever face, and then like does the like I love the over how Eric was just kind of toying with them because
It's nice. It was neat.
yeah. Why don't you like this movie so much?
It's fine. I mean, it's a movie you'd think I would like because I mean I enjoy. He's a revenant.
Yeah, basically.
A man that died and came back to like fuck people up. Like, all right, we're getting ready to go with this shit. And it's just kind of like, hey, it's okay, I guess. The aesthetic was okay. Like he looked fine. His voice didn't really match because I don't know. He's kind of like super kind of pleasant. I'm like expecting to be more dour.
Oh, just for the people that he liked.
I know.
Like
But
the
he would
first.
still be like, hey man, how's it going? Like,
Well, I love the part where he like shows up in Albrecht's office, and he was just like, "Oh, Dad, you can't be you. I saw your body." And then he just looked at him and said, "You're still wearing your hat." And he just like reaches up and takes it off, and then
which is funny because that's the thing I thought in the scene too. He comes out like in the wife beater and like the boxers or whatever, and I'm like, why are you wearing the hat?
yeah. It just feels natural on his head, I guess. But yeah, I just love the way he looked at him. Just like, "You're still wearing your hat," and he just kind of like looked up and saw the brim. I was like, "Fuck." But I also love these things will kill you as he takes like a big drag off the freaking cigarette. You gonna just disappear out the window again? I thought I'd use your door. And the way he says it, you're just like, oh, he's fucking hurting. Like I think he's a tragic figure, and you could tell he loved that girl so much.
He's obviously like trying to figure. He crawled out of the grave,
Yeah,
to avenge the death of his fiance. So I know she had a ring, but I wasn't sure if it was wife
So
or if it was fiance.
I think in the comic book they were married,
Okay.
and I think that they had been married.
She was Shelley, not Draven, right?
Yes, no, she was. I think Shelley Long. I can't.
Which is why I thought fiance rather than wife. But I don't know.
And I thought that too, because what I thought happened was, I thought they had gotten married, because the guy says, Eric comes back 1 year after when he dies, so he came back on Devil's Night, which is Halloween basically.
Okay.
And the detective says at the beginning, "Who the fuck gets married on Devil's Night?" And
Okay. They might have said that.
And
That sounds familiar.
because she had her dress and everything, and he's like, "Who the fuck gets married on Devil's Night?" And he was like, "Nobody."
Okay. Well, okay. I remember that bit, but I wasn't sure if that was they were going to get.
Shelley Webster.
Like
Or
it was their wedding,
Uh huh.
so they weren't quite married, or they were going to get married, but they died soon before it, or something like that.
For someone who's seen the movie so much, honestly, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I was always under the impression that they did get married.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
Yep.
If you're
I don't remember.
if you're a big fan of The Crow and I'm completely wrong, please face me as hard as you can in this fucking thing. But I think it was Shelley Weber or Webster or something like that. Can't remember off the top of my head because I don't watch it for her. But like the other part that makes me cry like a baby is at the end of it when she comes back to like basically take him home. I fucking love that part. Just the way she looks at him and smiles at him. He's just like, oh my god, and he's finally able to go to rest. And not only that, but his mission is over because his fucking grave is undisturbed.
So yeah, he goes back to his grave or whatever.
Yeah, and then like the ground is just completely undisturbed, like it never happened.
Yeah. But I'll be back in The Crow 2. Is there a second Crow movie?
There's a lot of Crow movies.
Is there more than two?
David Boreanaz is in one of them.
Is he really? He's not the Crow, is he?
He is the Crow.
Oh, sweet. I want to watch that movie now.
So I'm avoiding it like the plague because they made a movie called City of Angels.
Yeah. That's the second one, right?
Yes, and it was horribler. They could not recapture the magic. So let's see. There's the Crow City of Angels
Yes.
and
The It Crow. Yeah.
the It Crowd.
I know.
Yeah, no, I got what you were doing. I don't. I know that Boreanaz is in one of them because whenever I ran into him, I was like, "Hey, is that?" And Amber goes, "Yeah, no, it absolutely is." And I was like, "He was in it." She's like, "Yeah, no, he totally was." I was like, "How did I fucking know about this?" And she's like, "I knew about it all along. I just never said anything to you." I was like, "Okay." David, you have any idea how to spell that last name?
Borea.
Oh, let's
Borean N.
Boreanaz.
Bore.
Boreanaz.
Yeah, Boreanaz.
Let's see. Of course, Angel would be the first thing in there.
Yeah, obviously. And then Bones. And then Boofy.
Boofy. But he was totally The Crow, Wicked Prayer. That's him. It's a really bad picture of him, but it's totally him. Because
2000 what?
It was 2005. And that guy looks familiar too. I don't.
He looks surprised too.
Yeah.
we're looking at stuff we're not showing on screen.
Well, I don't want to show this on screen because there's going to be a lot of people who have never seen this and they're going to watch it and they're going to be like, "Oh my god, The Crow is so good." There you go. That's a little better.
That does not look like David Boreanaz when he's dressed up like that. But he's also younger at this point in time too, like 20-ish years younger.
Or is it Edward Furlong as The Crow?
Is he not the Crow? Because that doesn't look like David Boreanaz.
Let's see.
Does it say who plays Eric? Or is it different? Or is it not Eric in this one?
So there's Pestilence, War, Famine, Lucas Crash, The Priest, Lily, Harold Tanner. Oh my god.
So is it the story of another crow resurrecting someone else maybe?
So yeah, that's supposed to be like the
Because they mentioned that the crows can like bring people back from the dead to like go get their revenge.
Yeah, and that's there was the Crow City of Angels.
So does Crow City of Angels, like, 'cause that's the second one.
Yeah.
Is that one about Eric Raven or is it about...
Different guy.
So each Crow story is one other person.
And it was like that in the comic books too. Like Eric,
That's interesting.
yeah, Eric had his arc, and then it moves on to the next person who needs basically revenge.
Okay.
So it's like a revenge demon basically that shows up. It's like, I'm gonna give you a bunch of powers. You go take care of your unfinished business. Now I'm gonna pimp the fuck on to the next person.
Right. Do all of their last names have something to do with birds?
Draven.
I thought that his last name needed an apostrophe after the D. So he could be Eric de Raven.
The Raven.
Eric de Raven.
Yeah, I know nothing about this movie at all. I don't know if Boreanaz is the Crow or what.
Wow, that's a great score there.
Well, here's a review. Like a horrible accident you can't take your eyes off of but never want to see. I reviewed the best and feel obligated. To review the worst. Debatable since City of Angels is so boring. Yeah.
Which I guess is the most Because if the movies were like entertainingly bad, that would be one thing.
Quoteth the Raven. Please no more. Oh my God, please. Mythology Furlong was amazing. So maybe it was Furlong in this one. I don't know. Never seen it, and I really don't have any interest in watching it. And it doesn't tell me. So I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, but it's interesting that the sequels are different people. Because I was worried like the second movie was just gonna be like, and Eric Draven's back. Like, why?
They killed my mom too.
I forgot. I want to get revenge about the thing, the parking ticket.
Someone killed my cat. Which I thought was interesting. He came back a year later and fucking
cat's
the
still
cat
there.
was still alive. Yeah.
And then still like looking,
Just like he did the day he left.
yeah, looking clean.
Yeah.
Not like a alley cat or anything like that that's been living in an apartment or anything. No, just a perfect cat. It's like, hey, welcome back.
Well, so I thought that Sarah might have been showing up and feeding him, but
Hey, but she even said, "Oh, the cat's here."
yeah, and she was like, "Oh, he's still alive. I thought you were dead." But yeah,
I like the cop and like how he's looking after Sarah was interesting. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, that's sweet. He's keeping in touch or whatever, making sure she's okay and buying her hot dogs. I'm like, okay, I like her. I like Ernie Hudson. He's fun.
no onions. They make you fart, big time. It's I've seen the movie so many times. Yeah, I was really hoping that you were gonna like this one. Like I thought I had you on this one.
I mean, it could have, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know if I just wasn't feeling it necessarily either. But I mean, it's got shit in it that I should enjoy. Like I like people coming back from the dead to fuck people up, which absolutely he does. I like that he's just kind of like, fuck these people, and kind of like screwed him over royally. I'm like, that's fun. But overall, I think it was just kind of like, it's fine.
It's like some of the stuff he said was like funny too. It's just like, "Don't move, you're dead." Well, I say I'm dead, and I move. Or like I also love my favorite scene in the movie is the pawn shop where he's fucking Gideon up. Mm-hmm. And then like I love the way that he basically blew up the pawn shop, just loading all the wedding rings into the fucking shotgun and shooting him in there, like set off the gasoline. I thought that was just it was really good cinematography. And I'm not a fucking cinephile. Like I'm not gonna get into shots and angles and feelings and like because I don't know any of that. But yeah, I thought I had you. I was like, oh man, this is one of the greatest movies that he's never seen, and you fucking give it a 5. You disappoint me, Nick. You're tearing out my heart, Fredo.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, I'm not gonna make you talk about it anymore. I feel like if you've either seen this movie or you have no desire to. But in saying that, I also went to work today because a buddy of mine, I loaned you my copy, so I couldn't watch it, and then I couldn't fucking find it anywhere.
Jeez.
So I had.
I thought you also said you had several copies.
I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. So apparently that was when I was going through my whole phase of fuck it, if I don't have it, I've got something, and I'm not going to buy 18 copies to get the Criterion fucking collection or whatever.
I knew that had something about it because I watched it yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would watch it a little earlier on.
It's probably just, for me, it was just buy that one and I'm done. Because God knows, when we were cleaning up our DVD collection, I've got like multiple stacks over there of like things I just have in duplicate.
Yeah, I'm not the type to buy in the same medium. Mm-hmm. So like if I had it on DVD and they came out with a special edition DVD and it was like the same, I'm like, I'm not gonna buy the DVD again. Mm-hmm. But if it's a special edition Blu-ray, they're like, well, now it's gonna be better quality. I'll buy the Blu-ray. So I have things on DVD that I also have in Blu-ray. But if the only time I have something the same on DVD is if I made a mistake where like, oh, I didn't know I owned that. Hence why I started writing all that shit down so I could look on my phone and be like, do I own this movie? I do own this movie. I don't have to buy it again.
I mean, that tracks.
Mm-hmm. It's also what I did with comic books, and while all my comic books are written down so I can look at it and go, did I buy this issue already? I did buy this issue. Or no, I bought issue 2 but not in issue 4 but not issue 3. So I can like...
Oh, this is cover Z. I haven't gotten cover Z yet.
I only buy multiple covers if
special artist.
If it's either special artist, but usually if it's a special artist, I mean, that's the cover I'll get. I'm not going to get all of them, but it's more of like, we've put Demona on 3 covers, and be like, fuck you guys. I'll buy the 3 Demona covers. But if like it's Demona or it's Goliath, I'm like, I'll take the Demona cover. Or it's Angela and a couple others, I'm like, I'll take the Angela one.
Back in my day, we bought the newsstand version of it that came out, and we liked it. And occasionally another cover would come out, but now it's like every fucking comic has 14 fucking covers. And then like all of them are trash, and this one will go up to the top, and it was the one that's the most limited run that the fucking comic shop got because they ordered 28,000 fucking
Yeah,
comics.
so they'll get the one without the title or whatever. I'm like, I don't. So I went to like a comic shop near here, and there was like the Gargoyles Halloween special, and it had like a Demona cover, but then it had the Demona cover without the title on it. I'm like, that's the rarer one, but it doesn't have the title on it. That's gonna make future me pissed at me. So I'm gonna buy the one that has that's not the limited one that has the title on it, so I know what the fuck I'm looking at in the future. I don't need the oh, it doesn't have the words on it. I'm like, I want the words on it. I want to
Yeah.
know what I want to know what issue this is.
Well, I guess in their minds, if it doesn't have the fucking title on it, then it's more like a painting.
I will,
Cover.
if I like that, I will buy the poster and put it on the wall or some shit. I don't. The comic books are going to go in a comic box. I'm not going to display a comic. I know some people do, and they like grade them and put them in little boxes. But I'm buying comics to read them, not to display them.
I've been collecting comics nearly my entire life. I only have one fucking comic that's
In a box.
that's like rated.
And that's because that's how you bought it.
Well, it's like I won it. I went to a thing and they had a raffle and I fucking won it and they sent it to me and it's a Venom comic that's in that and I was just kind of like, okay, you know,
I would have looked at it and go, how do I open this?
it's vacuum sealed.
I would open it.
Yeah, well, I'm not going
Because
to.
I don't collect comics because they're worth money. It's the only people like my comics are worth money potentially, and the only people that will matter to is whoever gets them when I'm dead. Because I'm not getting rid of them.
Well, I knew from a very early age that I would never be rich or famous, so I collected comics, hopefully one day that I could just sell all of them and be fucking rich.
They're mine. I'm not selling shit.
I fell for it. Don't do it. Collecting is fucking, it's trash. All right, so Nick,
Yes.
IMDb, what do you think they gave The Crow?
We got like 50,000 plus reviews on this one.
It's 195,000.
Okay, we got plenty. 7.2.
7.5, very close.
Okay.
Very close. 7.5 out of 10. So 3/4 of the people who watched this movie liked it.
Yeah.
Nick, on Rotten Tomatoes, what do you
we-
think the critics gave it?
Do we have a lot of critics on this one?
63 reviews.
Okay, so it's going to be probably too high or too low. Brandon Lee passed away. I'm going to go with 85.
That's your final answer?
Yeah.
84.
It's me.
Fucking close, bro. Okay.
All right.
How about the audience?
This one got that like
250,000 plus ratings.
this one's nice and settled. IMDb was 7.5. You said. So I'm gonna go with 79. No, the critics get 80. I'll go 81.
For the
81 for the audience.
90. You're in the 10th percentile that did not like this movie.
It's not even that I didn't like
Because
it.
you don't like things that bring people joy.
I mean, that's true, but also it was fine. I didn't hate the movie. I just watched it. I'm like, oh, okay.
really-
Oh, that's neat.
I really wanted you to like this one.
It's fine.
Like, that's the only thing I hate about the format of this show is that I'll show you something that I like, and then I'm like, yeah, then I have to fucking wait to sit down at the table so I can just be like, oh man, he's really gonna like this. And Nick, what do you give this? I give it a 3. So you can watch my soul die in real time.
I don't know if there's anything you maybe watched that you like just flat out didn't like.
Transformers movie.
But,
You knew that it was like one of my favorite movies of all time. You were like, you made me watch a fucking hour and a half commercial.
the Transformer movie would be easier to watch if it was an episode like 58 of an entire. It's like you got the TV series and then you got the movie and then you got the CBTV series. So it's kind of like, hey, check out this thing. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And they're like, oh, we're killing important characters from season 1 and 2. I'm like, I didn't watch season 1 and 2.
Yeah, but it's like you didn't need to know that. Like for the cartoon. So
But it takes away the emotional impact. Like if I pull up, I don't know, like a Star Wars thing, I'm like, look, they fucking killed Yoda. And you're like, who the fuck's Yoda? I've never heard of Star Wars before. Like, oh, Yoda's gone. It's like, okay, that's sad, I guess. But like, oh, Yoda, he was here for all these things. Like, I don't know who the fuck that is.
I think the reason that Optimus Prime's death was so fucking like heavy for me,
You were a kid.
well, not only was I a
You
kid,
loved
but
him.
yeah, well, I mean, he's Truck Daddy. You know, like he's one of my heroes. But like, I think it was because he was one of the first Transformers I ever got. Like, I got a bunch of the little tiny ones because Transformers were pretty pricey, you know, back in the day. So
And still now, probably.
oh yeah, no, they're still $25+ for like base ones. But I remembered my dad every week would pick me up, and I had $20 allowance, and I would buy a Transformer, which was in the $10 range, or I'd buy a Transformer that was in the $5 range. Then I'd go to Aladdin's Castle, play $5 in the arcade, and then I'd go to Green Dragon and spend the other half of my $10 buying comic books. And then I'd go back to my grandmother's house and just read comic books. That's when I was reading them. And then eventually I stopped fucking reading them and just kept them in the bags and backboards. Because I remembered somebody showed me an X-Men comic and they're like, X-Men fucking 93. This one's worth $800 billion. And I was like, oh, you could have old comic books? I swear to God, I thought, me back then,
Therefore, it's an investment.
yeah, me back then thought I'd be sitting in a fucking $3 million house
Because you bought a comic book.
because I bought a comic book, and then like, you know, hopefully nostalgia would like catch on to people and they'd be wanting this comic book. But like my X-Men comic books, I've got pristine copies of like the X-Men, the Uncanny X-Men line, all the way from like 73 to damn near current, and like they're worth nothing, $5. You know, it's like they were like $75 comics or $1 comics, but still $5, and that blows my fucking mind.
Yeah, there's some comics that I bought for like 40 to 50-ish bucks. And like, I just want to read it. But this is like, I would go to the shop or whatever and like, here's the comic you need. It's missing out of your collection, whatever. Or it's like, not even like the variant is missing from your variant collection. It's more of like, here's issue 3. You don't have issue 3, but this is the special variant issue 3. Therefore, it's $50. I'm like, well, I just want the comic.
Yeah,
I just want to read it, and this is what's available to me, so I'll buy it.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But like to me, a superior comic book back in the day was Excalibur, and like because it's really good. I fucking love I love Nightcrawler. He's one of my favorite characters. But like those comics are going for nothing. But I guess the difference was is that I saw one comic book that had been made in 2023 that was already selling for like $900. And it was only because it was already comic book fucking rated at a 9.9. It didn't have the title on the cover, but there was only like 200 of them made. So it's just the scarcity
Yeah.
that made it so expensive. But like the comic books from back in the day, the actual storyline that made the fucking property like popular.
Yeah, people aren't buying it for the story because you can go online and get the story. They want the book that's scarce, and that's not what's interesting to me about comic book.
Well, every one of those motherfuckers can kiss my ass. I fell for it. I've got a bunch of stuff that hopefully one day Jackson will be able to fucking sell. But we're not talking about the X-Men.
We were talking about comics,
Yeah.
which, although watching it made me like, I learned that the Crow was a comic series. I think, and like I flipped through like the trivia or some shit. My Crow was a comic book. I'd read the comic book probably.
I've got them all downstairs if you want to read them.
Maybe. And that could be interesting. It seems like an idea that was fun, but I wondered how much of the movie was missing because they lost Brandon Lee,
So
and how much that made it suffer.
he had all of the scenes. He had all of the scenes basically in the can when it was like talking back and forth to different people. But like the stuff where he's like running across the rooftops.
And all the stunt shit.
Yeah. Some of that stuff they did not have, and that was basically his stunt double with a superimposed face on him. But like he died in the scene with Funboy.
Yeah, the drug guy, right?
Yeah, Funboy, the guy that died with morphine. But apparently that guy basically
Stopped acting or some shit.
shot him from 12 feet away. And I think it was the one where it was just he's telling the Jesus joke. And I think that was probably when it happened. But they don't tell you because they also make it sound like it happened when he was on the table with all the people in the room. But it wasn't that scene apparently. It had to have been that. But I thought I had you, buddy.
Hey, man, it's okay. I don't hate it. and I'm not connected enough for a low score to mean I'm pissed about it. It's like when we watch like Boba Fett or whatever. Like I think when we reviewed it, it's like a 6. I've not thought of Boba Fett since we fucking watched it. It's probably more of like a 5 or a 4, real honestly.
No.
But that one would make me angry because I like this. I like it, and I'm like, man, I'm really connected to like Star Wars. So when they throw me a fucking 6, I'm angry because I wanted it to be like an 8 or a 9 or some shit. But when I
Yeah.
watch this and it's a 5, I'm like, okay, it's fun. I liked it. I don't know that I'm gonna watch it again anytime soon. I'm kind of curious about like how bad the sequels are. I don't know if I'll ever said curiosity.
You'll never have to worry about me asking you to watch them.
Have you seen them all?
I went, no. I
You
went,
might have to worry about me.
oh, Jesus. No, I saw the first one, which I loved, and then City of Angels came out. And I was like, oh, City of Angels. And I went and saw it. And when I walked out, I was like, what the fuck was that? You know, because it was just, I knew it was going to be a different person. It was so fucking boring. And then when Amber and I just got finished watching it the other night, and one of the previews pulled up fucking Boreanzus, and I was like, the fuck's he doing up there? And Amber's like, I knew he played in one of those movies. And I was like, was he the bad guy or was he the crow? And Amber's like, I think he's the crow, but she's never watched it either.
Yeah,
So,
I never even knew he was in a Crow movie. Other there was more than 2. I knew there was at least 2.
but yeah, there's a lot of comics. But Joe Barr's still alive, and as far as I know, he's still writing and doing stuff. So, good on you, sir. You made a fantastic comic book.
Is he still doing the Crow, or is he on a different series at this point?
I think that they've released some stuff. I haven't looked in on it in a very long time.
I mean, it's an interesting concept or whatever, where like Crow show up and resurrect a person to kind of make them, get the revenge. So you can kind of have an arc with someone, and maybe that arc ends badly. Like, oh, that's interesting. You can kill off the Crow, and then not necessarily kill off your comic line because you can have a different
person.
a different Crow show up. So I'm like, that's interesting.
Well, it's like
That could be interesting.
they took the spin of. I don't think the crow shows up just because your rage. I think it's grief, love lost.
Yeah. And it's not just there for revenge per se.
Yeah, well, revenge is a big part of
Oh,
it
yeah.
because it's big fucking feelings. But he took the people out that hurt Shelley, and then he was able to basically go and be with her because he was a restless spirit.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like the crow is an entity that comes to things that are stuck in Topher or like the in between place, and just like, hey, want to seal the deal? Could go to hell, could go to heaven. Who knows? And you're just like, fuck, it's better than being in fucking limbo, I guess. So. But yeah, they spun it as like a, if they say that true love never dies or whatever, that's nice. Especially after you figure out like the backstory that actually made him write the comic books and everything like that. The dude truly has a tragic life. But remember, kids, life is tragedy. We're here for the fun parts, but most of it is just fucking bills and work.
And like on the back, it's collect them all. It's Eric Draven, and then it's Eric Draven with Crow.
Which you would think that would be the chase, but it's not.
It's a different. It's collect them all, 2 figures, and one is him with a crow.
Well, I think there's also
There's
over the years, there's been like what
multiple different little
seven
series,
different
whatever.
seven different versions of Eric Draven, but this isn't the Hot Topic one. You think this would go straight to fucking Hot Topic?
Seriously.
So, all right. Well, thanks for watching.
No, I guess there's only one final question.
Fuck, I was hoping, kid.
No, gotta give them a chance to watch the movie. So Lance, have you seen Faces in the Crowd?
I don't even know what that is.
And that's why I'm picking it. So it was a movie
Okay.
that I was going through Best Buy. Like just when you go like look at DVDs and buy them. Mm-hmm. And this one, had Mila Jovovich right on the cover.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh, Mila Jovovich movie.
that's your girl. I know.
I've bought a lot of movies just because they had Mila Jovovich in them. And from like 2011, so I probably bought it back in 2012 or some shit like that. Maybe even 2011. It's according to IMDb, it's on Freevee, Peacock, and Pluto TV, and Tubi and shit. So hopefully it's available for people to watch. The concept is interesting, and it's got Mila Jovovich in it. I'm not picking this movie because it's particularly a good movie that means anything to me. I just think it's interesting, and Mila Jovovich. So
Okay.
and then make people aware of it, I guess. Because, I mean, I've never heard a single person ever mention this movie.
Nope. I didn't even know it was a thing that existed.
Yeah.
So apparently we're getting into the mean phase of the show, huh?
But I don't mind the movie. But I'm not throwing you like a movie that's like a 10 for me. It's not like one that's like, this movie's super important to me. It's more like I watched it and I'm like, huh, interesting.
I guess that's just what I'm gonna have to do to see if I can like, because when I show you things that's like this movie means a lot to me, and Nick's just like it's okay. I'm just like fuck.
It's been give me, but then if you show me something like, man, I hate this fucking movie, and then you show it to me, and I'm like, man, this movie's a 9. You're still gonna be angry.
Well, it's these videos will take on a very different tone at that point. I'll be like, welcome to another fucking review where I'm sure he's about to shit on something I love and love something I shit on. So
And shit on The Crow. The Crow's fine. I like
I
it.
know, no, I'm just
Yeah. I kind of shat on Transformers, but mostly it was me on.
yeah.
The movie was fine.
You fucking gutted me on that one. So I felt like fucking dead like Optimus Prime in that one. And it happened about the same point in the movie too. Like the first, second, 10th, the 20% mark of that video, you're just like, this movie blows. And I'm just like, the rest of the video, I'm just like,
It's like you're one of them wacky waving unflammable two men. When it like there's just a little bit, so he kind of goes, oh man, turn it off, he's dying.
yeah. The power's on, but there's no life inside. Me too, wacky waving inflatable guy. All right, well, thanks for coming. And next time we're going to watch a movie that no one's ever heard of.
I've heard of it, and that's it. But be happy, it could be But I'm a Cheerleader.
I know that one's coming.
It's eventually.
Yeah, I know it's coming.
Maybe in June.
Maybe I'll just watch it and we'll just do 2 reviews so I can give you 2 movies in a row. Maybe I'll just watch that one too. Faces in the Crowd. Joe, if you're watching this, please download it for me. Because I'm sure I can't find it.
It says it's on Peacock. Do you have Peacock? No. Oh, okay. It's on Freevee. But if you, I imagine you want to watch it without ads.
Yes.
Or I'll just give you the DVD.
Might need to do that. Might need to do that.
Probably.
I don't want to watch it with ads. If it's a bad movie and I have to watch ads.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. It's just not. It's nothing special.
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, I bought it because Mila Jovovich was on the cover.
Do you own all the Resident Evils?
Not all of them, but I own. I don't remember if I own all of them or not.
Did you watch Monster Hunter?
No,
Because I think she's in that too.
she's in that one.
Ooh. That's going to be my next have you seen.
Stop
We're
off.
both going to go into it fucking blind.
Have you seen Monster Hunter?
Neither have I.
Me neither. Right. Well, should we put a pin in this one?
Yep.
All right. Bye, everybody.
It can't rain all the time.
Sure, okay.